Healing the impossible, God's way or nature's way. I'm Georgie Holbrook. This is an educational video. If you have a health issue, please see your physician, because I am not a doctor. I'm here to share some stories that I have personally witnessed in miracle stories of healing the impossible. For many of you, you've read my books that are behind me. At 42 years old, I had been suffering from rosacea that was deforming my face. I was losing part of my eyesight, but I had been progressively getting worse for 6 years. Many doctors said it was impossible to heal, but I was determined that our bodies cannot be that complicated. So I went on my own journey, and in the 7th year, I found the answer, and I emotionally healed what others said was impossible. It left me with these symptoms. I just felt internally exhausted all the time, couldn't figure it out. But I had accumulated trauma, which I understand today, but I didn't understand back then. Also, if you gave me your phone number, you might have to repeat it 3 times because I'd scramble it. I did not have clarity or focus. And I really felt sad because I was ready to share my story and help other people understand their own immune system. I was on a lot of natural products, really not noticing any difference. And then I was introduced to a product that had 53 patents. Now, where in the whole world will you find a supplement that has 53 patents? It's been proven and proven. You will not find it in the health food store. So I was willing to try anything at this point. So I tried it, and soon, so this was to activate my own immune system. Now, remember that all of us, from the day we were born, if we scratch our arm, it naturally heals. So there's a whole science about how products on the market feed the healthy cell, but they're not addressing our issue. I really want you to get that. So I got on the product, and soon I started feeling better, and those symptoms were just gone, and it was like a dream come true. Finally, I could start living my life, and my goal was to dedicate my life to God, to share my story. So after my experience, I got a phone call from a friend of mine that's a naturopathic medical doctor. And she asked if I had this product because there was a lady in the hospital that was dying and they didn't expect her to live till the next morning. But she said, but it might help her live. So I took the product to the hospital and I found this lady that had been given some type of medication and put on 50 pounds of fluid. She was already in the death process. They had her on life support. I met with the doctor, and I had 1 container of my product, and he understood it. He understood the science behind it, but he said in the hospital, their insurance would not cover something like this. But he gave me permission and his staff to try it by placing it in a mixture and putting it in the feeder tube. I was so excited. And I ordered lots of product overnight to be shipped to me to keep this process going. All right, so we started. In 2 weeks, she was off life support. Her body that had already been turning black now was back to normal. And in 4 weeks, we got her out of the hospital. But folks, it even gets better than that. 3 months later was Christmas Day. She and her husband called me. They wanted to thank me for showing up every day for her. And I was just like, yes, okay. And then they asked me this question, where do you think we are? And I said, in Houston, Texas, because that's where we lived. And they were like, no, every year we go to Las Vegas to celebrate the lights, but this year we're in Las Vegas to celebrate her healing. And I started crying. Folks, I started crying. It was the greatest Christmas gift I had ever received in my entire life, to help a loved one your loved one find answers out there in this world that has so many different voices. So then, my next story is, I was in a networking group with other business people where we share our businesses and support each other. And in this meeting, in this restaurant, was this man that was sitting by himself, and he looked really, really sick. 47-year-old man. So after our meeting, I sat down with him and I said, "What's going on?" He was on 3 organ transplants. His liver was shutting down, 2 kidneys were shutting down. He was on dialysis, and they were thinking that if he didn't get the transplants in 3 months, he would be dying, but he thought that he was going to be dying anyway. And so I asked him, "Will you be willing to try this product? Let's just see what happens." And so he was willing. And fast forward, not only did he heal, he never had to have the transplants. Eventually, well, soon after, he was off dialysis, but soon after, some months later, maybe 6-8 months later, he was able to go back to work part-time and then pretty soon full-time, and he lived another 10 years, and I got to tell this story at his funeral. Now, if you can heal the impossible, then what else can we heal if we understand nature and how this human body works? Because it's not as complicated, folks, as we have been taught. So that's why I love what I do. Next, I was called to a goat farm where a little 6-year-old boy, for all of his life, had been on a feeder tube and was not able to eat by mouth. And so I introduced it to him and his grandparents, and soon after, maybe within 5-6 months, the doctors were able to take the feeder tube away, and he was telling his grandmother for the first time in his entire life he could eat birthday cake with his friends. Then I was called to a family who a little 1-year-old, she wasn't quite 1 because they couldn't do surgery on her. She had 3 holes in her heart, and she cried day and night because she was trying to get oxygen. And so when I came to the home, I was like, oh my goodness, to listen to this child cry. So we mixed this powder, simple powder, almost tasteless, in a slurry water, and we dribbled it in her mouth. In 4 days, she stopped crying. But the good news, folks, she never needed a heart surgery. Then there was my cat. My cat got bit by a rattlesnake. I'm here in Texas. And 2 vets just wanted to put him down. He will not live. And I said, not my cat. So I found a holistic vet doctor that would work with my cat. And we worked together. And in 7 days, my cat's life turned around. Now, he was really sick. And that's a whole nother story. But anyway, what happened is that she met with me and she said, so she was doing hydrotherapy on him and I was doing the product on him. She told me that she thought we would have to have his leg amputated, that he would never use his claws again. So there was this whole story, and that I would be out $5,000. And she said, none of that happened. So whatever you're doing, I want to put it on in my personal animals' diets. And so that was like a really big deal for me. So here's the list. So I have seen an Alzheimer's person get their memory back. I have helped many acne and rosacea people because acne and rosacea, any skin issue, skin is the last place it's going to appear. It's always coming from internal. So once you understand that I can put you on a whole wellness program because it's lifestyle also. And once we come back to nature and harmony within that we were born with, we're just blessed. We're just blessed with this information. And I'm here to share with you. Now the product is pretty much available around the world. You're not going to find it in health food stores, but I personally walk you through the process, but it's not cheap. So on an average US dollars, it's going to be around $250 a month. But what an investment compared to medications that have enormous side effects that I get to witness when I'm called to a hospital or something to help somebody. So I'm here, I'm an educator. I love sharing these stories because they're real and it's something that I've witnessed, not something that I'm making up. And I'm here, there's many levels of wellness that I can teach you. So my website is georgieholbrook.com. I have helped people on all levels, from infants to the elderly, from cats and dogs, to understand the healing process that God gave us, not Georgie Holbrook. Please contact me. Please subscribe to my YouTube to help it grow. Without folks like you, I'm just here by myself. And I'm here to help you and your loved ones. And I have a free 15-minute session that I can do with you off my website. So don't hesitate. On some level, reach out, get help, because suffering and pain and low energy and not thinking clearly, when we were born with a purpose and passion, that right now we want to let our light shine all around us. Blessings from my heart to yours. I send you blessings, I send you prayers, I send you love. Contact me. I look forward to hearing from you.